Welcome to the Red Raider Coaches Show. I'm your host, Joe Hayes, and I'm here with our head coach, Keith Goss. Coach, welcome to Week 7.
Happy to be here.
Oh, yeah. Well, Coach, we're coming off of a very difficult loss against a region opponent, a big rivalry, has been for many, many years for Bacon County. And, you know, I know it was a tough ride coming home Friday night. It was a tough ride for a lot of us, but you know, I want to talk about some of the takeaways from the game, what you as a coaching staff and maybe what you've seen from the players as well, some of the takeaways from the game.
You know, hats off to Jeff Davis. Obviously, it's a region game, and it's an important game. We wanted to win it. We did not come away with the win. You know, there was a lot of different things you can take from that game. What I'll say, starting off with, is I'm proud that our kids never quit. I do think, you know, we are way ahead of where we were last year. You know, just a couple breaks didn't go our way, and we struggled to really find our rhythm offensively, and you know, they did a good job of holding the ball.
Well, Coach, one thing that I noticed, you know, it was a big game. It was a big game for me personally, as a Red Raider fan, and I watched film all week on Jeff Davis. Every single night, sitting there watching them play Lincoln County. I was watching them play Brantley County. I was watching them play Atco, and a different ball team showed up than what I saw on film.
Well, there's no question.
From an execution standpoint.
Right, you know, execution and you know, physicality. We got their best game, but that should be understood. That should be understood. Whatever you see on film, you know, this is a rivalry our counties touch, and you should expect that. You should expect to get their very best game, and we did. And we did not match their intensity that night, and they came away with a win.
And two, a little bit, Coach, and maybe you can describe it a little bit more to help me out here, but you know, as far as a physical matchup, you know, it seemed like, especially on the lines, that they outweighed us by 30, 40 pounds per player. I know that's a lot of things that we face per season, or per team, excuse me, but with Jeff Davis, every year I'm noticing they've got more and more muscle, and I commend their coach for what, you know, he's doing over there, and,
right,
and their weightlifting program, and they are ahead of us. So
Physically, they're still ahead of us. We're in year 2 of a weightlifting program, and we're getting a lot of guys stronger, and we're strong enough to compete. He's in year 4.
Yeah.
And so now those guys that are seniors have been through his lifting regimen for 4 years. That's what their team's going to look like. We're in year 2 of that process. Like I said, I commend what they do in the strength program. You know, they were able to get pushed in some situations, and you know, it helped them move the ball when they needed to move the ball, and it, you know, slowed us from slowing them down. I will say that, you know, there were some things that I question.
Right.
But you know, I'm not going to make any bones about it.
Well, and you see those type things on professional games, and we can say that a bad call or poor officiating, or, you know, a bogus play, or whatever, right, those discretional type things are. But I know I've heard you say before,
we have to find a way to overcome them.
That's right.
And you can go into Jeff Davis, and you can already assume that you're 14 points down, and that was true Friday night.
Yeah. So you can't always say, if you put yourself in a position that a little bit of bad officiating or a lot of bad officiating, you shouldn't have yourself in a position where it's going to cost you. You've
right.
always got to be.
We got to be prepared to overcome that, and we didn't.
Yeah.
So I mean, we go and work drills during the course of the week, where I purposely give them bad calls during the course of the week, so we keep our composure and continue to play. And you know, there was times where, you know, it looked like our composure was a little bit rattled, but we refocused and kept playing the ball game and kept playing hard.
Well, and that's another thing that I saw. One of the obvious ones to me was against Terry Moore. And I would say most of Raider Nation that was at the game clearly saw the push off, and I commend Terry on for his composure of going over to the official. He didn't throw a temper tantrum. He wasn't flailing his arms. He wasn't, he went over, he played his story, and the official gave him the case. And, at that point, there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
No, and that's what I explained to our guys. The biggest thing we have to do is not let one game sour us to the next.
Yeah.
Obviously, that game didn't go the way we wanted it to, but it's over. Good or bad, it's over. And so now we have to focus on our next game, which is Toombs County.
As far as the coaching staff preparing this week, you said you guys throw in intentionally bad calls from week to week, but this week coming off of a loss against a big region rivalry like Jeff Davis, what was some of the steps that you guys took this week as the coaching staff at practice?
I mean, there's things we obviously looked at in the game that we felt like we had to address and adjust, and personnel, and that's what we're going to do going into every week. So, that's just, we come into Sunday, we look at our deficits and things that need to be corrected, and then we go about a way to correct them. 2 weeks ago, we weren't happy with the kickoff team, and we made adjustments to our kickoff personnel and our strategy. So things like that are constantly happening. It's constantly evolving. That's what coaching is. It's not just picking 4 plays and saying, well, this is what we do. That's it. We're constantly working on how to fit what we have against other teams to give us the best chance at a win.
Yeah. The players' response, was it business come Monday? Did you feel like that, when they come to the practice, or were they still pretty beat up and you guys kind of had to get them a little motivation going this week after taking such a hard, difficult loss?
Well, it comes down to this. We've had 2 losses on the season, and I attribute them both to more of lack of focus than anything else. We control us. And when we get on social media and try to be, social media heroes and sit there and, message everybody back and forth and get all worried about those things instead of preparing for the game, staying within us, worrying about the things we control. We don't play as well when we lose our focus, and get more worried about the hype than the work.
Yeah. Well, many coaches that have come through Bacon County and coaching friends that I have, around the state, that's probably one of the top 5 difficult things from a coaching standpoint that you deal with is, one, that losing focus, and 2, a lot of that today's times is
Right.
that social media.
Well, those things didn't exist when I played. You had to get on a PC and dial up modem if you want to get on Facebook and find somebody else to talk trash to, and maybe they had Facebook
Right.
and a dial up modem. It's just a different time, and all the kids have access to Snapchat and everything else, and they're talking to each other all week and talking trash to each other, and we're not that team. We can't do things like that and be successful. And that's what I'm trying to explain to our guys is that might seem fun, but they lose focus on what's important.
Yeah. That field and practice and
what's important to win the game and then the preparation. And I really feel like our losses this year are more attributed to our lack of focus than they are our opponents.
Right.
And with that being said, both teams that beat us are very good football teams, and I take nothing away from them. But
Right.
We are a much better, more competitive team when we stay within ourselves.
Well, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I wanted to win just as much as anybody. But sometimes in certain teams, a little humble pie doesn't hurt anyone. Not that I wanted to eat humble pie.
No.
You didn't want to eat humble pie, nor did our players want any humble pie. But sometimes that's the plate that you're dealt.
Right.
And I feel like, we were given a
Well,
full.
that's what happened game 1. and they responded and came out and played football the next 4 weeks, and that, everybody told them there, hey, y'all are doing great, y'all are doing great, y'all are doing great, y'all are doing great. And I think, they let it get to their head a little bit.
Yeah.
And for us to be successful, we're going to have to stay humble, and we're going to have to stay hungry and work. And, that's going to be the difference with us moving forward.
Well, good, Coach. I know, like I said, it was a difficult ride back home, but, even talking with you the next day and the coaching staff through the beginning of the week, you guys are working hard. The players are refocused, and, I'm really, really excited about the game coming up this week and our opportunity there. Watch film on them all week too, so I can't help myself to do that. We'll talk about Toombs County in the next segment and let you give us a little breakdown on them and what Raider Nation can expect to see. But Raider Nation, we're going to take a real quick break and get our sponsors a little recognition, and we'll come back to you shortly. Welcome back to the Red Raider Coaches Show. Well, Coach, this week we are going to face Toombs County. Another big region game, and that's one thing in 2A football. Our region is a tough region.
Yeah.
Day in, day out.
Day in and day out, it's going to be competitive. There's a lot of good coaches in this region that are built their programs to be very competitive, tough football programs. And, it's going to be a challenge every week.
It is. Both the two smallest classifications with single A and double A, you look at the same region for single A and you've got Irwin and Clinch and Charlton.
Oh, there's no doubt.
ACO's gradually building their program back up. They're on the upswing, and you got Turner County, and you've got which Metters, I believe, their new region is
Region 3, I believe.
Region 3.
Which isn't easy
no.
by any means either.
But still, just the likes of Irwin and Clinch and Charlton, those three teams, good gracious, to have to compete in that region in single A. In our region, in double A, we've got Jeff Davis, which is, I believe, if not the largest school in double A. We're close down to maybe 4th or 5th from the bottom, so they're almost double our size. They're at the tip top of student body population in their school. We're at the bottom. Toombs is another school. They're pretty high up. They're way up on that scale. We're down here at the bottom of the list. But again, I know a lot of these 2A opponents, long history programs like Vidalia, Toombs County. There's a lot of history there that we're going up to face, and they love football up there.
They do, but it's, they're good programs, they're good teams, they're going to consistently do the right things. But with what we've built, and if we do things the right way, and what we're going to continue to build on, I feel like we have the ability to compete any given night.
Coach, I'm super excited this week that we're going to give the wing tee a little bit of a break because we've been watching a wing tee. We've had to defend the wing tee for quite a few weeks in a row here. And so Toombs, from what I watched on film, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, they are more in a spread, but they're heavy run, but they're in a spread type offense.
They're a spread offense that's run first, and they do a good job with it. Their quarterback's tough as nails, and they'll run him on the option game. It was just because they're not in wing T, you don't get it confused that it's not going to be a physical running attack. They got a big running back, and they get after it.
Defensively, Coach, what do you see from Toombs that, what type of defense are they running, and how do you feel it's going to match up against our offense?
They base off a 3-4, but some of their adjustments and some of the things that we're gonna put them in, it's gonna look more like a 4-2. They like to play, a 3-4, 2 safeties high, and that's because they got 2 safeties that will come play football. I think it's number 3 that plays safety. he runs the alley as good as anybody.
I got you, and I know you said last night in the touchdown club meeting that he was probably one of the best safeties that you've seen so far in the region.
Yeah,
probably is.
He's probably the best one we've seen this year.
Now, as far as players, I kind of noticed looking on their sidelines, watching film, I know they don't have a lot of numbers, but it looks like with the numbers they have, they're all players, pretty much.
Yeah, that they, you know, he's Coach Marsh is very old school, and to his credit, I mean, there's just, you know, you like him. He's a good man. He runs a hard, tough program, but he only ends up with about 30, and I mean those 30 are going to play ball for him.
Yep. Well, I know it's going to be exciting night for Raider Nation for us to take the trip up there. They got a brand new rebuilt stadium, so they remodeled the pit. It's going to be a whole different look for you. It's not going to be anything what you're expecting the pit used to be, right?
No, I mean like there's still the outside the stadium. I think I've done some face work on it. I haven't been there. I've just seen it on film. But the field is turf.
Yes. So they went from traditional natural turf to artificial turf, and so it's definitely a new look. And the field, you know, looks pristine. It stays pristine because it's artificial.
That's right.
And I do know they have some fine hamburgers up there. Probably that's one thing I will give them credit is they got probably some of the best hamburgers in their concessions.
And I've heard about those hamburgers all week from our booster club.
Yeah, everybody's going to get there early. We're going to get our burgers. We're going to get situated. We're going to have our own little tailgate sitting in the stands watching y'all warm up. So, you know, that's how we like to prepare and get ready. And, you know, I'm just excited to see our boosters excited this week. I'm excited to see our community excited, especially coming off a loss. And I know that's big for you and your coaching staff.
Well, and I know the kids feel the support, and, you know, even the cookout that was that Saturday morning afterwards. Just great community support, and it's about these kids and getting them better, and people understand that, you know, football it's tough, and for that level of community support, they're still behind them, and they know it's not fair weather.
Right.
Fair weather. I mean, that support is legitimate and consistent. It just helps build what we're trying to do here.
Well, one thing that impressed me at the cookout and talking with the guys there, the boys and toys, and all the former Red Raiders with Rashid Slade and I believe it's Squeaky and Stefan,
right.
and man, just hearing some of their stories and those old tales, you know, it gives me goosebumps to be able to stand around and learn more and to absorb in more of that old history from the 90s and the 80s, and you know, and for our players to stand there too and hear that and feel it and know these guys genuinely care because they've been in their shoes.
Right.
They've been a Red Raider. They are a former Red Raider, and I know it means the world to our program for as much continued support as we get. And I kind of want to go through that, Coach, and let's talk a little more about Feed the Raider. We've had more and more coming in here in the last little bit, in the last 2 weeks.
Which has really helped, especially when we're out of school for those week breaks, and we're trying to find a way to feed these guys. I know they get sent home with a school, you know, meal bag for the week or whatever, but it's tough when we ask them to do so much between working out and practice and physically preparing. It's tough to keep on weight, and we've actually had some guys gain a few pounds back during the course of the season where they had lost it a few weeks ago, and I attribute that directly to Feed the Raiders and the fact that we're putting more in front of these kids to eat, and you know, that's something that isn't going away. We're going to constantly have to put more into these kids calorie wise. I was, you know, the studies that I did in college in my major, you know, like the average college football player has to eat 5,500 calories a day just to maintain his weight. And that's just a crazy number. And that number is not quite as high for a high school kid, but it's still, you know, what they say, a 2,000 calorie diet.
Yep.
Our kids will lose weight dramatically on 2,000 calories.
You know, player that I went to school with, Edward Altman. You know, he's huge. He was a massive offensive lineman, and he was just ripped, muscle bound. And every day he would drink like 9 milks, and he would get 2 plates of meal at lunch. And you know, and seeing even college athletes, you guys did that in your college career, that they're feeding you left and right.
There's days where, most days, you know, you went in, did your morning workout. I would at the very least eat 2 full plates at breakfast. And the college coach is marking you down to see if you're going through
That's
the
right.
line and eating. And then you go back at lunch and you eat at least 2 more full plates. And then, you know, dinner may not be that by the time practice is over. You might just eat something to put something back in you. And then that process continued. And there's times, you know, I struggle to gain weight in college. I don't really struggle from that anymore.
Right.
But in college, it was tough eating the amount of calories with the amount of work I did. And our kids, you know, they face that here.
They do. You know, and it was the same for me in the military. When I was in the Army, they fed us the same way. And people just don't realize the amount of food. But I'm so thankful, even walking in your office this week, we got a bunch of Ensure. Ensure is a high protein type drink to put a lot of proteins in their body.
And it's getting them some of the vitamins and minerals they're not getting other places, because they don't, a lot of times high school kids, anybody that has high school kids knows, or middle school kids, they might not always have a balanced diet.
Yeah.
And I probably struggle with my own kids to make sure they're getting the right things in them. So this just helps nutritionally get the right things in their body.
Well, we want to thank Carver's Pharmacy for helping us to get that, and Mr. Larry Taylor for doing all the legwork.
He's done a bunch.
And I know John Hughes was in on that as well, he went and picked up some to hold us temporarily until we got our shipment in. And you know, a lot of people working behind the scenes to make this stuff happen, and it's not cheap. You know, I know when we place an order of Ensure, you're looking at $1,500–$1,600. We've had a lot of people donating Debbie snacks. Raider Nation, I want to let you know, you can go by Jay's IGA. They got a donation box. We've got a lot of peanut butter now. We probably need more jelly.
Probably.
Yeah. So we can lay off the peanut butter just for a little bit. If you would like to buy some jelly, you can buy some at Jay's, put it in the donation box. If you want to buy some little Debbie snacks, put it in the donation box. If you happen to have some that you just want to bring, you can take it by to John Hughes at State Farm. He's been taking in donations there. We got K&L Barbecue that's been bringing us some loaves of bread, and we've been getting roughly 20 loaves of bread a week, which is huge. I mean,
all these things help.
It does.
And they all seem like little things, but those are the type of things that keep this program rolling and keep it building. So it's you know, we're going to work them hard. We're going to have high expectations for them. But when we work them hard and we do all those things, we got to make sure they're getting enough back in them to grow.
Definitely. And for example, last week, you talk about school was out, but it wasn't for you guys.
No,
practice. You guys worked for what,
film.
4 hours?
Yeah, between lifting weights, film, and practice, we were here 4.5 hours, close to 5.
Okay, so
And
every day, no students were here except the student athletes,
Right.
the football players. And after practice, we fed them. Before practice, we gave them either peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all week.
Right.
And then after practice, we did
We had
pizza 2 days.
Right.
And then I know John and Lisa Hughes and Jason Taylor and
Did
Heath,
spaghetti.
they did spaghetti.
Yeah,
and
which was awesome for our players, and they really appreciated it.
Yep, and then I know Aaron Andrews and Kylie and Miss Linda Michael did a meal on Thursday.
Thursday morning, or they do the Thursday morning breakfast.
That's right, they do the Thursday morning breakfast and do biscuits and gravy, and
Right.
I know she mixes that up and does different things. And then Fridays, we do breakfast every Friday, every game day.
Right.
We do breakfast in the morning, 7 a.m. Then we do a pregame meal, which is usually done by a church. This week it's being done by New Vision. First African Church this week. New Vision came and spoke at the breakfast this morning.
That's right.
Pastor Brad, what was it?
Ben.
Pastor Ben, yeah. So Pastor Ben, the youth pastor there come this morning and spoke to the players. Then at lunch, we've got Stefan will come and speak to the players, and they're feeding the team for the pregame, and then postgame, we always have a meal for the players as well. So when they come off the field, get on the bus, we're standing there handing them a meal to get on the bus,
Right.
and then that way they're not going home hungry.
That's right.
So we feed them 3 meals a day, and it roughly costs anywhere from $800 to $1,000 every Friday.
Yeah.
And that's a big number. If you got 10 games, that's $10,000. And
There's a lot of things that go into feeding these guys and trying to keep the size on them and keep them strong. And that's one of our major expenses. But people have been donating left and right, and we really do appreciate that.
And I want to call them out, Coach, and just give some here. You know, we'll take any donation for Feed the Raiders. So if you've got $25 that you would just like to give, we'll take your $25 and we'll go buy snacks or peanut butter, or it'll be applied to a meal that we buy for a post-game meal or a pre-game meal or a breakfast. We'll apply your dollars to Feed the Raiders. But again, I just want to run through these real quick. Tim and Mandy Harper, Jason and Melissa Taylor, Beach Termite and Pest Control, Benchmark Physical Therapy, Alma Pro Wash, Kevin and Valerie Boatwright, John Lott, Chuck Rowland and Gary Graham, Williams Enterprises, which is Subway, A&L Auto Sales, Alderman Realty, Advantage South, Scott Taylor, Security Blanket, First National Bank Golf Classic, Darren Wheeler, James Miles, Carver Drug Company, Mid-South Feeds, Brown's Lawn Service, Scott and Linda Michael, Tommy Taylor with K&L Barbecue, Cohen's of Alma, Lacey Boatwright and Dexter Reynolds of MGN Detailing, Boys and Toys Car Club, First Baptist Church of Alma, John and Lisa Hughes, Travis Peavy, Alma Church of God, Vance Burkett, New Vision Congressional Methodist Church, and First African Church. So a lot of people, there's more coming. I've got some people that have reached out. I got to go swing by and pick their money up as well. So please continue this money. When season is over, Coach, is this something that's going to end?
No, I mean, it won't be, obviously the pregame meals and everything like that won't be happening, but will we still be feeding them after they lift weights? Absolutely. We're trying to build guys year round.
Yeah.
And so that's the direction we want to take things, and it's not just for football. When we go to basketball games, I like my guys being able to push around the other team.
Yeah.
We're working on getting basketball players stronger too. When I go to baseball games, I like it when guys hit home runs and yell weight room.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's one of those things. It's all sports.
It is, and it's a community effort. It's really, when I stood in your office last week and I seen all the Ensure and the Debbie snacks and the bread and the peanut butter and jelly, and and I see the coaching staff in there making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and we gave the kids 2 slices of pizza and a Debbie snack, and I said, Coach, this is awesome, and you made the comment to me this is what top tier programs do.
It is. And we have to continue.
Valdosta's, the Colquitt County, the Warner Robins, Houston counties,
right.
The Coffee counties.
This is what you do to build a program.
Pierce County, the same thing. It is
that you help feed the kids, you develop a program to build them, and you hold them to high expectations. Great things will continue to happen, and things will continue to get better, and it will continue to build with doing those things. And that's just what I believe in.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you. I know everybody's, you got to get back to work, and you got a busy day today, so I won't keep you any longer. We thank you for your time. Again, we're looking forward to coming over to Toombs County tonight. We hope to see all of Raider Nation in Lyons, Georgia. As far as directions, I know the Bacon County Wall of Fame put, I believe, the address and all for the stadium. Or you can shoot me a message if you need directions to get up there. But Lyons, Georgia, Toombs County, Bulldogs, I'm just can't wait till the Red Raiders get up here and we see and show them what Raider Nation's all about, Coach.
Absolutely.
All right, well, good luck tonight, Raider Nation. We appreciate you. Hope to see you all there. Be safe traveling, and go Big Red.
Horns up.